Something is happening in your body right now that scientists spent decades trying to explain. It starts at the back of your neck. A wave moves up your scalp and down your arms. Your skin tightens. The hair on your forearms rises. And for a moment, something inside your chest opens up in a way that has no name. You have felt this. Probably more than once. Researchers call it frisson. From the French word for shiver. And for a long time, no one could explain why music, something completely abstract, something that cannot feed you or shelter you or protect you from anything, could reach inside your nervous system and pull this response out of it. Because this response is not small. It is the same physiological cascade your body uses when it detects something of enormous importance. The pupils dilate slightly. The heart rate shifts. Dopamine floods the reward circuits in your brain. The same dopamine released when you eat. When you win. When you have sex. The brain treats the chills from music as a reward signal equal in chemistry to the most fundamental drives your body has. And nobody could explain why. Here is the part nobody tells you about musical chills. They are not a response to beauty. They are a response to meaning. And the difference between those two things is the difference between decoration and survival. Neuroscientist Robert Zatorre at McGill University has spent years scanning the brains of people who experience frisson. What he found changed how researchers think about music entirely. When a person experiences chills from music, the auditory cortex, the part of the brain that processes sound, activates in precise coordination with the nucleus accumbens, the brain's core reward center. These two regions almost never talk to each other in other animals. The connection between them is significantly stronger in humans than in any other species studied. Your brain built a private highway between sound and reward. And it built it for a reason. Think about that for a moment. A 2018 study published in Social Cognitive and Affective Neuroscience found that people who experience frisson more intensely score higher on measures of openness to experience and emotional depth. They also showed greater connectivity between the auditory and emotional processing centers of the brain. In other words, the people who get chills from music are not more sensitive in a passive way. They are more connected. Their brains are more wired for the kind of processing that music demands. But here is where it gets interesting. Music was not always background. It was not always something you listened to alone through small white earphones while staring at a screen. For almost all of human history, music was something that happened in a group. It was synchronized breath, synchronized movement, synchronized voice. And the research on what happens when human bodies synchronize is extraordinary. Psychologist Emma Willmuth and her team at Oxford found that when people move in synchrony, they rate each other as more trustworthy, more cooperative, more worthy of sacrifice. The act of moving together, of breathing together, of producing sound together, does something to the human bond that almost nothing else does. It signals something ancient. It says, we are the same. We are aligned. You can rely on me. And the chills may be the body's way of registering exactly that signal. Evolutionary musicologist Tecumseh Fitch proposed that music evolved precisely as a social bonding mechanism. Not because it sounded beautiful, but because it could synchronize the nervous systems of many individuals at once, creating a sense of shared experience that no other tool available to our ancestors could replicate. Around a fire. In a ceremony. Before a hunt or a battle. The music did not entertain. It aligned. It prepared. It transformed a collection of individuals into something that felt, for a few minutes, like a single organism. And the chills were the signal that the alignment had worked. Have you ever been in a crowd when the music dropped and every person around you reacted at the same moment? Not because they planned to. Not because they discussed it. Because their nervous systems were running the same ancient program at the same time and all arrived at the same place together. That collective shiver is not an accident. It is one of the oldest forms of human communication still operating in the modern world. Think about the last time music gave you chills. Where were you? What was the moment? Most people cannot predict it. The chills come from something unexpected. A harmony that resolves in a direction you did not anticipate. A lyric that arrives just slightly before or after the beat. A voice that breaks in a way that was not supposed to happen. Music theorist David Huron at Ohio State University spent years studying why these specific moments trigger frisson and found a consistent pattern. It is not beauty that causes chills. It is violation of expectation followed immediately by resolution. Your brain builds a model of where the music is going. When the music goes somewhere else, the brain fires an alert. But when the surprise turns out to be even better than what the brain predicted, the reward system floods. And the body shivers. This is called ITPRA theory. Imagination, tension, prediction, reaction, appraisal. The chills are the body's physical expression of the moment when what was feared turns out to be wonderful. And that moment, the moment when surprise becomes wonder, is one of the most ancient emotional experiences the human brain knows. It is the feeling of crossing a threshold you did not know you could cross. Of finding that the world is larger than you thought. Of discovering that what felt like danger was actually something extraordinary. Your ancestors felt this too. Not from recorded music. Not from concerts. From the voice of someone in their group who hit a note that nobody expected. From a drum pattern that suddenly shifted. From the sound of many voices finding the same pitch in the dark. And every time, the body shivered. Because the body recognized something it had been trained over hundreds of thousands of years to recognize. This matters. This is real. This means something. The next time music gives you chills, do not reach for an explanation. Do not minimize it. Notice what your body is actually telling you. It is not telling you that the song is good. It is telling you that something just happened that your oldest systems recognize as significant. A connection was made. A threshold was crossed. A moment arrived that your ancestors would have gathered around a fire to feel together. One day you will remember a specific moment. A specific song. A specific place where the music moved through you and left you different on the other side. You will not remember what you ate that day. You will not remember most of what was said. But you will remember exactly how that felt. Because your body was not just listening to music. It was doing what human bodies have done for as long as there have been human bodies. It was recognizing that it was not alone.